Hi, Chris.
Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing? The parking lot was full, but I didn't think everybody was here for us. Looks like maybe the 18th is. Welcome. This is the December meeting of the Sagaponic Zoning Board of Appeals, which I am now calling to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. United States of America.
And to the republic for stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. He's gonna try to be here as soon as he can, but he's at.
All right, we had a relatively brief meeting last month. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes.
Make a motion.
Motion to approve, second, all in favor? Aye. That's approved. There's no old business. We have a new matter. The first one, which was on the agenda, was 182 Town Line Road LLC. It's application 9 of 2025. The applicant had requested an adjournment of that meeting to the January 9th meeting, which we approved at the last meeting. So there's no further action we really need to take today. Second item is 172 Town Line Road LLC at that eponymous, is that the word, address? It's application 10 of 2025. And this is an application for an area variance for an accessory side yard setback of 30 feet for a spa. And for the applicant,
Let the record show the affidavit of posting and mailing has been submitted.
Good afternoon. I can see the camera on, get to be on the camera. Be in Montauk representing 172 Town Line. It's my client, Schultz. Michael, I don't think it's going to be here today. He wasn't the last year. So we've been in front of this board once before. When Michael had purchased this property, Michael was a real estate salesman. He purchased this property and his ex-wife, Lisa, lives in this house basically. So the house was renovated. We did a very light renovation to the property. I think we have some before and after photos we could show you, but the house, we just added a very small addition on one side of the property within the required side yard setback. It's obviously a unique lot, Sagaponic residence, but it's these are small, narrow lots. As a matter of fact, I even knew the person who owned this. She still did. One of the sisters still works in Montauk School. My kids go to school. The board was kind enough to grant us relief for the pool and the pool house, which was the other thing we were putting on this property, as well as the parking in front, which had always been there. During the course of development of this property, Lisa's in-residence involvement with the property, his daughter and his wife who resided at the property requested a hot tub. We really looked at as hard as we could to try and figure out an area that this hot tub could be accommodated on the property. But what you don't see on the surveys or in the a flat analysis of the property is that between the house and the road is the sanitary system that you'll see right behind the house. So to make the hot tub work with the required setbacks from the hot tub, the only area we could come up with was within the side yard setback on the south side. That happens to be adjacent to I think the closest structure to that area is a pool, which is pretty significantly far away from it on the adjacent property. And it's very, very well screened. I know the board does not like to grant accessory structure setbacks. We're not doing this flippantly at the end of the day, but we thought with all the improvements to the property and the consistency of the existing house with what has always been there, we thought it was a reasonable ask to see if the board would consider granting this side yard setback relief in an area that we think is going to end to the usability of this site. I think the real reason they want it is because Michael's daughter said it adds to the the length of season that she can actually enjoy the property, or at least enjoy that amenity, because a hot tub makes it more likely she's going to use the pool later in the season when she has more time on her hands and can come out here. But it is actually for the owners and to occupy and wanting to use it. So I have Soleil, my architect, who's here with me, as well as Charlie Marner, who's the landscape architect, who's been working on the property and had a lot of ideas, but before I even got to the board today, and we can answer any questions you might have about the project or why it was proposed as it is.
Anybody on the board have any questions? I see that the spa does comply with the minimum 10-foot side yard setback.
That is correct.
And were this a principal structure, it would be entitled to a reduced setback, but because it's an accessory structure, it doesn't get the benefit of an undersized lot's increased or decreased setback, just as a comment. I think the renovation job was quite nice, actually. It's a
It looks
beautiful
beautiful.
property.
That's every time I drive by.
Mhm. All right, and I see, so the yellow area between the house and the swimming pool is the setback requirements from the septic system in which nothing else could be.
That's correct. Those are the required offsets for the type of.
Okay. All right, so either Charlie or do you want someone else to,
I would like
add to
Soleil,
your-
I'd like to hear her just because it's the holiday season.
okay. Got you here, you guys will have something to say.
Swear me in.
You can go to the podium, unless you want to show us.
Introduce yourself too. Hi, my name is Soledad Mendez, Bellwether Architects. I'm the architect on the project from the beginning. As Andy said, this is our second time up here. So great to see you all again. We do have images of the project from the road so that you can see that we are not, the work so far almost complete and copacetic with what we have been approved for in the past. I can submit 3 pages if you'd like to see that. Those are before construction and current photographs. The reason I say they're current photographs is that the landscaping in the front yard is not complete, but it will be enough. There were photographs also submitted with the application that show where we would like hot tub to go. Currently between the hot tub location and the neighbor is screened with I believe 10-foot hedges that will continue to grow. So as we believe we have nice separation between us and the neighbor. On my site plan, not the survey that's on the screen, but the site plan that shows the yellow, you can see the neighbor's pool location, which as you can see is relatively far away. So we believe that the location that we've selected is both the only location, or relatively the only location on site that would be feasible, given that we have the septic in the rear yard. And the septic's in the rear yard because it could not be in the front yard. So water lines in the front yard. So given that we have the septic in the rear yard, we believe the location that we provided is the only location that we can have the hot tub, and that it is not a disturbance to the neighbors. The hot tub will not be a disturbance from the road. It's pretty far back. The house obscures it, the landscape obscures it, and we're asking for this relief in order to have the owner have the amenities that they would love to have in a larger lot. Would be able to.
What is the size of the hot tub, you know?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Offhand, I believe it's like 10 by 6.
I think it's,
I believe I wrote it in there. Let me see if I can read it.
yeah, I hear in the application, it's a 102.5 square feet in totals. And does the pump for the hot tub generate any kind of noise or?
No, it will be located in the basement of the pool house, and it will have pipes underground, so no, it should not generate any noise that would disturb the neighbors.
Anybody else? Anybody want to speak in favor of the
Okay,
application?
so is there any comment from the south side neighbor?
Yes.
No.
Apologies if I may.
Please introduce yourself and go ahead.
Sure. My name is Frank Haftel, and I work with the owners of 500 Bridge Lane.
Oh,
we-
yeah, you're next.
Your application will be coming up, but this is the other application, which is on the
Apologies. I thought you were asking for public comments, regardless. Thank you. I'll wait.
We'll get to you shortly.
So I repeat the question.
Go ahead.
Understood. I have not heard any comments, Andy, have you?
Yeah, Michael was the realtor who actually sold the neighbor of the property to the north. I know he's spoken to them, and I have not heard anything from the neighbor to the south, although we did notice them. I do have an aerial, that shows this area in more detail. And I like to submit that just to the board so you can see. It's kind of like a formal landscaped area in that side of the property, and the lawn actually is probably 15 or so feet off of the property line, which I think is relevant to projecting whether or not it's anything that would have any impact to them. But their pool is very far away, and there's a lot of landscaping on their side of the property as well as our side of the property, and then the lawn is set back even further, so.
Yeah, and it's distant from the property to the north that you referred to, which incidentally is the other application.
Yeah,
It's
that was,
just adjourned
I was
to this
unaware of that, but that was
one.
serendipity perhaps.
I'm sorry, so no word from the south side neighbor, because this is the south side amenity, and they have been noticed.
Yes.
Anybody else? Any comments in favor of or in opposition to the application? Anybody feel that we need any further information? Should keep this open. All right, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing on this application.
I guess my only question, sorry,
Go
I'm
ahead.
not making the motion, but
No,
none of this is like that. When I saw the word spa, I thought building, and this is just actually a hot tub.
It's a hot tub.
So there's no roof, no gazebo, no.
That's correct, no roof, no gazebo.
Yeah.
Just a hot tub.
it's an in-ground hot tub that comes how far above?
18 inches.
18 inches.
That's correct, yes, 18 inches above ground.
Mhm. Any other questions? Want me to hold the hearing open for any further deliberation? Then I'll entertain that motion to close the hearing.
I like the motion.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we close the
Thank
hearing.
you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thanks. No, you didn't get to tell us anything about your landscape.
I know, I know.
Gave you a chance if
Do
you
you have a
wanted.
general public comment? No, Charlie. We'll figure out your check.
All right, so we have another matter on the agenda, which is now the 518 Bridge Lane, application number 11, 2025. And that's an area variance for an accessory side yard and rear yard setbacks. Again, this one's for a pool itself and for a house. And for the applicants. Affidavits.
and postal mail.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Anthony Van Goss, Union Street, Sag Harbor. I'm representing the homeowner, Susan Lago, who is with us on Zoom.
Hello,
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
now,
My last name, V as in Victor, ERMAN, D as in David, Flores.
this is another renovation for which we've previously given a variance.
Correct, yes, about 2 years ago. And we have completed construction on the renovation of the main house. And this proposal before you is for a 10 by 20 swimming pool and patio in the rear.
Okay,
Requires side yard, rear yard setbacks in the patio.
all right, this is again quite a small parcel. The last variance was for a front yard setback to move the house a little further forward to
Correct.
create more of a backyard, of which there was little. It's a very attractive renovation with a dream box on Bridge Lane. And one of the conditions of granting that variance was keeping that open to public view, couldn't be screened. I went by there to see where the proposed pool is. It's quite a small parcel. I don't know if the rest of you had a chance to look at it. There really isn't any place to put a pool that would be compliant now. And it's a small pool, 10 by 20, which is probably half or less the size of a pretty standard pool on a property. So I don't want to do your job for you, but do you have anything else to say in favor of your application?
You know, it's well screened from all of its neighbors. You know, as I said, it's a greatly undersized property. I think one of the things that we noted at the original hearing for this is I think the property itself is smaller than most of the houses on the adjacent properties. So that's pretty straightforward. I should say, just in interest of full disclosure here, there is one additional variance that we're going to be asking for down the road, which is parking to be where it is now, on the side of the on the east side of the property, rather than the required parking in the rear yard.
Okay, so, yeah, I was confused by your application. I mean, you're not, because it's not numbered, but it looked like there were 4 things to me, 4 items. Side yard, pool, back rear yard, pool, rear yard, proposed patio, and then it says locate required off-street parking in a required side yard. You're not asking for that now?
I think it was a mistake in the somewhere along the line. It got taken out of the official notice. I believe what happened was it got taken out of the official notice that point out.
It's in the application.
No, wait a minute. So you're saying you do want it, but it didn't get advertised?
Right, it didn't get advertised, so we're gonna have to come back for that at some
Okay.
point.
All right, so
Assuming we were okay with the pool itself.
I can answer that question. John Woodsman, building inspector. We require a survey detailing where the parking area is in proximity to the side yard and to delineate the number of spaces. And they weren't able to get the survey updated by this meeting.
okay.
Yes, we were still waiting for
So
that
it's
survey.
literally paperwork.
Yeah, okay, so the sort of the outline of the driveway is shown where the water service comes in, but it doesn't have any dimensions as to the distance. And that's what would be needed in order to grant the variance that's requested. Okay, so we set that aside for the time being and focus on the pool and the patio, which are the subjects of the current application. And again, as an undersized lot, if this were a principal dwelling, you would be entitled to some relief from the setback requirements, but because it's an accessory structure, it's not. However, it does exceed the absolute minimum setback requirement. It doesn't appear to be any place else that it could go. I mean, you have this on the west side of the property, it could be moved a little bit tight.
Like, why, I guess that, why wouldn't it be moved to the west so that the 15 feet could be, would then it break, no matter where you move it, there's requires a side yard setback?
Well, I
Because
think
it's just so close? Or is this more like, this is just a better location from an aesthetic design perspective? Like, why couldn't the patio be smaller and the whole pool be shifted to the
Sure,
west?
I understand the point here. So I think we're gonna need a rear yard variance no matter where we move.
Right.
The side yard is like, I think it's like, if we move the pool more to the center, then I think the patio would have to go to the other side, and then I think that would need a variance. Also, to your point about aesthetics, it just sort of with how the back of the house works and where the doors and windows are, it's sort of, this is sort of a better location for the pool in relation to the house itself.
What is to the east of the property line where the pool is located?
In terms of,
I mean, there's any
Big privet,
structure
it's a
or
big
is it a
privet
yard?
hedge,
or
it's
is
a
it
house, it's a house,
A
yeah.
house, but how
Yeah.
far is that from the property?
May I answer that? I'm there.
Yes,
And there's a house about 15 feet from the lot line.
okay. Your name is?
Axel Stavsky.
Oh,
Sorry,
just, can you spell your first name?
Stawski.
Axel.
Axel. And
You're the property owner immediately to the east of this
immediately
property
to the east and to the north.
and to the north.
And to the east, we never got a notice of the hearing, but we did get it to the north.
Okay. Okay. And since this is most relevant to your property to the east, you don't have any structures, your principal structure or anything opposite the area that they're seeking relief for.
Yes, there is a structure, yes.
That would you be adversely affected by
Yeah, I
that?
think so, yes.
Yes.
So we knew, everyone, when this property was sold, clearly it's a small lot. And, we weren't worried because nobody could put a pool there. And now I find out, and they knew that, the buyer knew that at the time as well. It's not that there's any hardship here. And of course, if the pool would be further away from us, fine, yes, of course, that's no problem.
I'm sorry, but you're objecting, is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
He's objecting to this, and I don't see.
I missed an answer though. You said your principal dwelling on the side yard, which would be 538 Bridge Lane, and that's your dwelling is.
There are actually two dwellings on there with separate gas meters and electric meters.
Yeah.
And the one it's about, I'm guessing now it's about 15 feet from
From the property line.
50 or 15?
15.
So
It's an old.
It's right
It's
there.
an old.
So there's the very old looking house, which is on Sag Main, and there's a house behind that?
There are two next to each other.
Okay.
One
Next to each other on an east-west.
east-west, right. One is one which we extended a few years ago. We enlarged. It's one. Some of our daughters live there, and here's another daughter of ours, which was a separate structure on the property
Okay.
with a separate CO and so on.
And the western one is 15
Western
feet
one,
from
yes.
this property.
The closest one is 15 feet to
Yeah.
the east of the property line, and they're seeking 15 feet to
Correct.
the west for the pool.
Right.
So there'd be a total of 30 feet.
Yeah.
As opposed to what would be more
60.
customary, yeah, twice that. It is a small pool. Now, who's residing in the house there?
I am Susan.
Yes,
Hello, it's me.
yes. Who resides in the house with you?
I have two kids. One's away in college and a 16-year-old.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is just to see whether there would be any excess noise coming from the swimming pool adjacent to the other property owner. I mean, pools can be noisy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it won't be an enormous pool. We'll be limited with, how many people can even fit in the house and the pool at any one time.
I'm sorry, do you have a pool on your property?
Not on that property. We own 872, which is behind this.
To the north.
That's some other kids of ours.
That was the
That has-
Verblunget property.
Yes, absolutely.
Verblunget. Okay. Cute. All right. So I think there was someone else who wanted to speak to this application who is on Zoom, right? Gentlemen?
Yes, thank you. Thanks again for the time. Again, Frank Haftel, and I represent the owners of 500 Bridge Lane. We don't actually have any objections. We in fact, we would love to see our neighbors enjoy their property to the highest extent possible. But we unfortunately haven't had enough time to review and haven't met or discussed this with our neighbor. Nice meeting you online, Susan.
Hi there.
And would really appreciate having a few days.
I did stop by at one point at your home just to say hello and introduce myself, but you weren't home, or I came across a caretaker, and I think we may have had a little language barrier.
We appreciate that. So again, we would love to see you enjoy your property. We would just like to understand really what's being proposed and make sure that it wouldn't adversely affect the use of the owners.
Of course, I understand. I mean, it's a simple, outdoor relaxing space and, occasional entertainment. Like I said, it's not so large, so I would never have too many people there that would, cause a humongous ruckus. I think it would all be pretty modest if there was entertainment.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, thank you for that. Again, if we could just have, a few days to make sure we understand the survey. I took a picture of it, and if you don't mind, potentially reach out with any questions.
Yeah.
That we would appreciate that.
I'll be out there during the holidays, so I could knock on the door if you'll be around.
I'm not sure. As I said, I represent the owners. The owners
right.
are, and I'm not sure what their schedule
Gotcha.
is, but it would be great if we, like I said, I'll review this survey and we'll make a recommendation. We'll discuss it with them,
Mhm.
and we'll take it from there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask you, go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can separate things, but do you have an objection in your capacity as the owner of the Fabunget property as distinct from the property to the east?
Less so because the house itself,
The house that's
on 872, is on the north side of 872.
okay.
So if she moved the pool over,
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't understand the objection to moving the pool to the west. So maybe there has to be a compromise. You have to decide, do we want a pool or do we want a smaller patio? But there doesn't seem to me to be a really good reason to not move the pool so it's 30 feet from the property line.
I would consider moving it. I mean, if
allows it.
Well, it would allow it with respect to the
You would only
eastern
need the
border.
rear yard
You'd
setback.
only need the rear yard setback.
Correct, no side yard setback.
Yeah.
Of course, just take notice that would move the proposed pool closer to the gentleman on the west of the property.
But it
500.
could still be within 30
But it would still
feet.
be as of right with respect to the side yard
sides.
setback. Right, okay. So, hearing a possible complaint from the property owner on the west where the proposed pool is located is,
Non-west.
right, it's.
I didn't call that a possible complaint.
Well, it was a desire to further review it, to
Yeah.
determine what recommendation to be made. And I'm just pointing out that if we were not to grant the variance for the side yard and effectively say that the pool must be moved further to the west so that only a rear yard setback is required, the pool would be closer to the property on the west, but still, as of right, within a legal side yard setback. And that property owner would not be affected by the rear yard setback, which is essentially unavoidable and mildly objected to by Mr. Stosky. The principal objection is the 15-foot side yard setback. And the only way to mitigate that without depriving the property owner of a pool would be to ask that it be moved further to the west, which Ms. Lago is willing to consider. Now, I don't see dimensions for the existing proposed patio. I guess we could figure it out, but I wouldn't want to deprive her of having sitting area, a patio, or at least somehow adjacent to the pool as well, because that goes with the pool, you want to sit around to some extent. So you may want to give that some consideration.
Yeah, I would.
And in the meantime, since there is a desire to further review the application and to consider a potential move of the pool to a more westerly location with an adjustment to the patio, and we don't have that information today, it'll take some time, I would suggest that we keep the hearing open and adjourn it to the January meeting for an opportunity for further submissions, both in favor of or in opposition to, or in a compromise for the proposed application.
I agree.
Okay?
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah. maybe
Yes.
if you want an emotion.
Yeah, then I will make a motion that the hearing on that's the other, sorry, the hearing on 518 Bridge Lane, number 11 of 2025, be continued to the January 9th meeting. Is it the 9th? I think it was right, the January 9th meeting. And the hearing remain open both for written and oral submissions.
Okay.
And just make sure that both of these commentators
Yes, and the
Yes.
party,
any revised.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll contact the neighbor to the west as soon as we have the new, as soon as myself and the homeowner have settled on the new location.
Now, if the result of your, yeah, I was gonna say, for efficiency's sake, you could combine this with noticing the driveway.
Yeah,
And we
okay,
can take care of that all at once.
that's perfect, yeah, because I think the survey is just about ready for that, so I'll just have them
That'd
move
be
the plan
time
as well.
So you can do it all at once, you have to come back anyway. And if there is no further need for the side yard setback because the pool is relocated, that should be shown, taken care of in advance of that meeting as well. So that we can try and handle everything at once. Okay. All right,
Okay.
so that motion was made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, that motion passes.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, actually, there being no further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks very much, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
You
Thank you.